Hello and welcome to this interview. My name's Ben Keith and I'm one of the editors at rednoticemonitor.com. I'm a barrister at St Andrews Hill, specialising in Interpol cases. Today I'm delighted to welcome Enes Kanter Freedom, who's agreed to be interviewed to explain his story firsthand to me about the problems that he has faced as the result of abusive Interpol red notices and other issues. I'm hoping so Enes, tell us a little bit about your story.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I'm a basketball player. I'm an NBA player, and just because of that, I travel all around the world to do lots of basketball camps for kids. And obviously, being able to inspire kids, being able to share what I have learned in NBA, to share with all the young generation is one of my passion. And also, I do a lot of charity work with my foundation all around the world. So, before I become an American citizen, obviously, I was a Turkish citizen and I have a Turkish passport. And back in 2017, I was traveling around the world. And I remember that going into Romania. And that's where everything started. Turkish government revoked my passport and put my name on Interpol list. And I remember I went to the passport lady and I gave her my passport, and she was looking and looking. It took like 10-15 minutes, and I even asked her, like, is there a problem, man? And she's like, give me a second. And she went in the bag, come outside, and then after like 15 minutes came outside with the police and said, well, your passport has been revoked and your name is on Interpol list. So we need to do something about this. And I'm like, I turned to my manager, I'm like, what is she talking about? And I remember immediately I called many of my friends in America. I called some senators, I called some, congressmen and congresswomen. I called even like Homeland Security. I was like, they put my name on Interpol list, and there's a chance that these people are telling me that I might be deported back to Turkey. And obviously, I'm so grateful for America that they immediately took action, and they tried to bring me back to America the same day because they just didn't feel comfortable me being there another minute.
And did you find out? Did the Romanians tell you about what was on the Interpol red notice?
So obviously in Turkey, if you are in the country that you criticize the president, you say anything against the government or anything against the regime, you'll be in jail the next day. But if you're outside of Turkey, right, you are a journalist or you are an activist, that you're criticizing the government or you're saying something against the regime, what they do is so disgusting. They will put your name on Interpol list, and whichever country you're in around the world, that country has to deport you back to Turkey if they have extradition or if they have some kind of deal with Turkey. So in 1 week, Turkey put 65,000 people's name on Interpol list and told them that they are terrorists. And I sit down and always have a conversation with some of the lawmakers, not just in America but around the world, and they always start laughing. I'm like, and they're like, so you're telling us, Enes, in 1 week, Turkey declared 65,000 people as terrorists, as international criminals, and they put their name on Interpol list. And when I say yes, they just can't believe it, and they start laughing. It's like, this is so bizarre, and this is unacceptable.
And this is, so just for context, this is in 2016, there was an attempted coup against President Erdogan. And as a result, there was a huge purge and crackdown on civil society. And he and his government sought to put in prison all sorts of people, from teachers, doctors, lawyers, judges, anybody in civil society who was thought to be essentially in opposition to his government. That's right. Uh,
You know,
sorry.
go ahead, sir.
And then I understand, and then obviously they looked abroad to try and crush dissent from people who had criticised the government who were not in Turkey.
You know, when I sit down and had a conversation with some of the lawmakers here in America, what they told me really like opened my eyes. They said, if you want to look at who did the coup attempt, you have to look at the benefits of the coup attempt, right? After 2016, there's been so many people are put in jails. You know, so many prosecutors, judges, police, soldiers and everything. And Erdogan, what President Erdogan did, he literally put all his people into those, they became policemen, they became soldiers, they became judges and prosecutors. And so he pretty much took over the whole country. And also outside of Turkey, he put all these innocent people's name on Interpol list, and and he revoked their passport. Now they're not really allowed to go anywhere. They can't even go to embassy. They can't even go to embassy to get a passport, because obviously they have a chance to get arrested in embassy because it counts as a Turkish land. And these people are innocent people. And there are thousands of people around the world right now who are scared to go anywhere, scared to live the country that they live in. They're pretty much a prisoner in their country because what Erdogan did to these innocent people. You cannot put 65,000 people's name on Interpol list just because of they don't think the same way what you think, just because of they're against your policies or they're against what you stand for. You cannot just declare them as terrorists. You cannot just declare them as international criminals. You cannot revoke their passport, or you cannot put their name on Interpol list. This is unacceptable.
And in relation, because what I understand is that the cancelling of passports is a very devious way of not, in fact, having to issue a red notice, because, of course, if a Turkish national travels, for instance, to France and arrives in France, and the French authorities look on the database and see that the passport is stolen, then that Turkish national will most of the time be deported back to Turkey, their country of nationality. And then I understand that they're at huge risk of then being sent to prison or being subject to political persecution.
Yes, these people, people need to understand out there in the world, like when these people, get deported back to Turkey, they immediately become a political prisoner. They immediately be persecuted or oppressed by their government. There's no fair trial in Turkey, and they are treated like really bad criminals. So people need to understand, countries need to understand, and, I remember there was a case when a mom and dad got deported because of Interpol, got deported back to Turkey, and they put the kids in orphanage. Do you understand how hard is that for a kid or for parents to witness that your kids are taken away from you? Then the husband is in another cell and the mom is in another cell, and you have no idea what's going on with the kids. And this is only one story, So what this government does, not just Turkey. You look at Turkey, Russia, China. So there are so many other countries out there are using their power to abuse red notice system. And Interpol needs to wake up. Interpol needs to say enough is enough. And I'm not really sure, please correct me if I'm wrong, that Interpol just about to have a summit in Turkey, I believe.
Yes, in the autumn, their General Assembly is in Turkey in the autumn.
So this is like holding a human rights summit in North Korea. Like, what is people thinking? What are they talking about? Like, this is unacceptable. How can you hold a summit in a country where they're abusing people's right all the time? So the shame on Interpol.
Have you had any response from Interpol to your case?
We have been trying to get in touch with them for a long time, and many of my people says that do not trust them, because they can get your name out of that list. And then the second you travel to a country, they can put your name back there again, So like, I have so many great friends around, and whichever country I travel, I have to like ask so many people and say, hey, if this country is okay, should I go? Should I go? Should I not go? And then they always tell me, go to this country, don't go to that country, go to this country. But I shouldn't be living like this. I'm an NBA player. I'm a human rights activist. And just because I talk about the problems that are happening in my country, like, how people's rights are being abused, and how there is no freedom of speech, religion, expression, or protest, how there's no democracy. Just because of that, they put my name on Interpol list. Like, this is unacceptable.
You're one of the lucky ones, aren't you? You're a high-profile individual. You're a critic of the regime. You are well known internationally and in the media, and so you have some protection. But what about those 65,000 other people?
Exactly. Whenever I sit down and have a conversation with a news outlet or a politician or an activist or somebody, I'm like, listen, guys, you guys know my story because I play in NBA. I'm always in public's eyes. But there are so many people don't have this NBA platform, don't have the platform that I have, but they're on that list, their rights been getting abused for years, and you guys have no idea. I'm one of the lucky ones because compared to what some of the stories that I heard from my friends, I feel so lucky. But some of my friends are going through some really rough times just because of, they're against the dictatorship in Turkey, So, we need to do something about this immediately because this is affecting people's lives.
And if you were going to have a message for Interpol, what would it be?
Stop bowing down to these dictatorships. Stop listening to those dictatorships and put innocent people's life on risk. I believe, not just me, but many people out there believes that these dictatorships out there are, using their power to abuse red notice system, Interpol. And if you are listening to those dictatorships, you are part of the problem. And history will judge you for it. And you are on the wrong side of the history. So what I will say to them is do a background check. Do not listen to those dictatorships. If you're going to put someone's name on Interpol list, just make sure you have a really, good background check. And people like, Erdogan or Xi Jinping or Putin or many other dictatorships out there in the world are only wants yes men's around them. If anyone is against you, right, they think those people should be in jail. And you are literally helping them. You are literally helping dictatorships by putting 65,000 people's name on Interpol list in 1 week. So stop bowing down to dictatorships.
Well, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. It's been very interesting, and I hope that we can talk some more on another occasion.